Good morning, Year 2. So yesterday we were looking at contractions, which is when two words are joined together in a shorter form. So here are some more examples, and the letters that are missing are replaced with an apostrophe. So we've got haven't, won't, couldn't, hasn't, can't, and didn't. And in all of those words, it's something not. And so the O has been replaced. So we've got could not, did not, cannot, has not, have not. And the really strange one is won't, because that is actually will not. So that one doesn't make much sense at all, which is why it's so tricky to spell. So today, instead of doing it that way round, what we're going to do is have the contraction, and you have got to separate it back out into the two words. So the one I've done for you at the top is will, which was we will. And the W and the I have been chopped out and replaced with the apostrophe. So it's easier if you try and think of them in sentences. So this one, we're really happy. We are really happy. So you're going to write we're and then equals we are. I'm not going to do all of them for you. Let's have a look at this one. He's my best friend. What two words do you think that used to be? He's. It's he is. He is my best friend. So I want you to have a go at writing the contraction first with the apostrophe and then putting equals and writing the two words that have been contracted together. So we've got your, we've got their, we've got its, we've got she's, we've got I'll, that's a tricky one, and we've got you'll. If you look at these ones, they end with the two L's, which is very similar to the one I did at the start. So that's the clue, they're will words. So have a go at writing those neatly in your book. Yesterday we were looking at the differences between fiction books, so story books, and non-fiction books, books that aren't a story and that contain facts. So this term we're going to be writing a non-chronological report. Now that's a really long word. All it means is not in time order. So it means the facts aren't in time order. The last time you wrote some non-fiction, you wrote a report about the fire of London, but that was in time order because you had to start with the beginning when the fire started and then you finish with what happened after the fire. But if you're writing about an animal, and we're going to be writing a report about elephants, you don't need to put it in time order. You just need to sort your facts. Now, the writing in non-fiction is also a bit different. We looked at the features, but the actual sentences are different. They use different types of language. Story writing has lots more description, lots more adjectives than fact writing, non-fiction writing. So we're going to look at these sentences and see if you can decide whether they came from a storybook or they came from a non-fiction book. So if we look at the first one, the huge beast had legs as thick as tree trunks. Now you're right, remember that when you say something is as something else, that's a simile. So what sort of book do you think might have similes? And the next one says, there are two types of elephants, the African and the Asian. And then we've got Nellie the elephant packed her trunk. Elephants wallow in mud to protect their skin from the sun. Elephant tusks continue to grow throughout their life. As the sun set on the horizon, she wallowed happily in the muddy pool. So what side do you think I need to sort those sentences onto? Now, fiction stories often have description, and similes are a way of describing. So this one, the huge beast had legs as thick as tree trunks, that came from a storybook. There are two types of elephant. Now that is a fact. There are African elephants and Asian elephants. Nellie the elephant packed a trunk. I think we know that that is definitely from a story. Elephants wallow in mud to protect their skin from the sun. That is a fact. It's telling you why they wallow in mud. Elephant tusks continue to grow throughout their life. That's also a fact about their tusks. As the sun set on the horizon, she wallowed happily in the muddy pool. So you might have noticed there we've got two adjectives. So we've got muddy pool. Actually, we've got an adverb there, haven't we? Happily. She wallowed happily in the muddy pool. So it's not telling you that she did that to protect her skin from the sun, which is the science fact. It's describing how she was feeling. So that's probably from a storybook. Now, sometimes they do sort of cross over a bit, but you can normally have a guess what type of book the writing came from. So if you're going to do some non-fiction writing, the first thing you need are facts. And you need lots of facts. So you need to find out some facts about your subject. And the subject of our report are going to be elephants. Now, once you've got facts, you need to sort them into groups, or else your report will just be a long, long list of facts. Now, next week, hopefully, you're going to get some new packs with some new worksheets in, and you'll have a copy of this spidergram. And it's called a spidergram because it looks like it's got legs sticking out from the middle. And this is a way of sorting facts. So I've got a few facts down the bottom here. We've got the one about the elephants wallowing in mud to protect their skin. Now that's to do with their habitat. And habitat is about where they live. So they need mud. And then we've got elephant tusks, so that goes there because that's about tusks. We've got elephants are hunted for their tusks, so that also goes there. And then we've got there are two types of elephants. So I think that probably could go in the introduction because that's one of the first facts you need to explain, that there are two different types. So the TLP for today is, can I find out 3 interesting facts about elephants and write them in sentences? So I'm going to give 2 or 3 links to different videos with some information about elephants, and I want you to watch the videos and choose one of the facts, one of the things you find out, to write in a sentence. So this is going to be a statement. It's going to be a statement about elephants, and try and make it an interesting fact. So we already know they are big, so you don't have to write an elephant is big. Have a look at the videos, and you can use Google as well if you want to try and find out some facts, and see if you can find out something that makes you think, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that about elephants. And then I want you to write it in a neat sentence. Make sure it's got a capital letter and a full stop, and make sure it makes sense. And because this is non-fiction, you don't have to add lots of other fancy adjectives and adverbs. It's just going to be a statement of fact, and it's going to be interesting because of the science that you're writing about. So it's the information that's going to make it interesting.